Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready to discuss that job I mentioned. The tapestries hung here and outside were found in hideouts, where members of the Mythic Dawn would meet and plot. The cult's greatest accomplishment was the assassination of the Septim Dynasty and the opening of the Oblivion Gates. Those robes were worn during the Mythic Dawn's secret meetings, where they plotted to bring the Daedra Mehrunes Dagon into Tamriel. Each bolt of yarn used to make the robe was colored with a dye made from sacrificial blood. Ah, yes. That scabbard. Notice the insignia? An Oblivion Gate. A key symbol of Mehrunes Dagon, the patron Daedra of the Mythic Dawn. The commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Camoran. He promised a paradise awaited his followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes Dagon's side. That burned paper is all that remains of the fabled Mysterium Xarxes, the blasphemous book written by Mehrunes Dagon himself. It's said that Mankar Camoran used the book to open a portal to a paradise, where all his followers would live forever. Did you have any questions about the museum, or would you rather talk business? They were worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Lord of Destruction and Change. The Mythic Dawn killed Uriel Septim VII and his heirs, triggering the events that led to the Oblivion Crisis when the Daedra invaded Tamriel. All that remains of the infamous cult I've gathered in my museum. Ah, an excellent question. Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Lord of Change, Destruction, and Ambition. Dagon's Mythic Dawn cult killed the Septim Dynasty and opened the Oblivion Gates into Tamriel. They called it the Oblivion Crisis. It's no secret that my family were once members of the Mythic Dawn. One of my forefathers was even chosen to assassinate Uriel Septim himself. We hid from our past for years, became tradesmen, people of coin and influence. But I realized that the Mythic Dawn's importance, our importance, to history cannot be denied. I'll see everyone in Tamriel remember that for a moment, we held the fate of the world in our hands, for good or ill. A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim. At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders, and the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked. The razor is Mehrunes Dagon's personal artifact. It has always heralded bloody change and carnage. It's held many names. Dagger of the Final Wounds, Bane of the Righteous, the Kingslayer. The Mythic Dawn worshipped Dagon as a god. Having his razor would be invaluable to my collection. Good luck finding the fragments.
Might as well make a start with the fragments search in Morthal. We'll probably be able to acquire it peacefully.
be good. Everyone inside, now!
Which can wait.
Fight!
As this dragon clearly wants to cause trouble. Good. Frost breath on standby. All marked for death. That works as well. Although, works better if you're closer to it. Yeah. Probably a little more. Yeah. Time to test out Dragonbane! Feel the power of Ice Spike, Vile Dragon! What have they been treating these houses with? Right, get back here. We're not done with you. Ah, good, you've landed. Time to bring judgment to this dragon, using Dragonbane. Do not worry, guard. Your death will not be in vain. You!
What a waste.
You have been avenged, guard.
It took its very soul.
That's the bloke who has the fragments. He's the one you need to talk to.
I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Trust you saw the house that burned down. Peculiar bit of business that was. And that's on top of noises from the marsh in the night. Tales of monsters. And now this wizard in our midst. What's a man to do if he can't look to his Jarl for help? Don't know what you're talking about, stranger. I've heard of him. My father had suspicions about his connection to the Mythic Dawn. Guess they were true. I don't need this. My family wasted 8 generations keeping that razor safe from a dead cult. As far as I care, it can stay locked in my house. The Vines know the mill could use some new blades. All right. It's yours. Here's the keys. It's locked in the chest inside my house. See ya.
Well, if you have the means of doing it in a non-violence way, why not? Besides, I don't think it'll be that easy next time.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. vampire hunters or something, in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
It's bad luck to talk about that place. Jarl's been looking for someone who ain't superstitious, though. Be looking for a fool if you ask me.
I'll take my leave then. I'm going to find whoever...
Yeah, that can wait. So it's a choice between the one near the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, or the one in the Reach.
There you are.
L. We haven't even been gone that long, and already there's a vampire. They're causing trouble. Yeah, that's right, keep the guards alive. Safest plan. Don't want to get a bounty. It's also good for this. Don't do that too often, okay? No going back from...
We need to do something about these vampire attacks.
losing a head. So you want to take on the bandit stronghold nearby? Yeah, go on. You got a black soul gem that needs filling. So the next bandit you're after. Soul trap and then put in a soul gem. Although only do this as a test. Next time, save it for their leaders. For the most vile of the guilty. Seems to work well enough. Now continue commencing judgment! That's a bit redundant, wasn't it? As judgment has been dispensed for the guards of the outer area. Plenty of leather though. Well, at least we've learned one thing. That not all vampires are thieves. Certainly not in this world anyway.